Spider-Man suit can have a lot of different options, and a lot of different styles, a lot of different ways that you can use it, a lot of different pieces that you might not know exist, and a lot of things about the suit that you probably never considered until you started looking at one. It might seem like one of the most simple suits that you can wear because it looks like it's just one piece, and when you're wearing the suit, it's not like it's a whole like heap of armor where you have to do certain things to make it work. You would think it's all just basic simple stuff, but it's sometimes simple stuff that not everybody knows. Now, I've made a lot of videos about Spider-Man suits, like a lot of videos. It's a good majority of my channel, and you've probably seen a couple of them if you've clicked on this video. If you haven't seen them or any of my other videos, then dear God, I hope you can survive this one. My point being is that I've made a lot of other videos about Spider-Man suits, about specific things. But in this video, I wanted to try to compile one list, one punch list of 5 things that I think you should know. 5 things that any Spider-Man cosplayer should know, whether you don't even have a suit yet and you're looking into getting one, you're just about to buy your first one, or you have 10 Spider-Man suits and you've been doing it for a long time. This is a punch list of 5 tips that I think is absolutely crucial for every and any Spider-Man cosplayer to consider. So without further ado, this is my all-time 5 tips for Spider-Man cosplay. I don't know how to phrase that. I should figure out how to phrase that before I title the video. All-time 5 tips for Spider-Man. No. My all-time 5 Spider-Man cosplay tips? Maybe I got that one. The best 5. No, I can't say the best. I'm just gonna get into the video. Hey, what up? I'm Miles and welcome back to a new video. Now, if you're from my channel, you know who I am and you know what I do. If you're new here and you clicked on this video, allow me to quickly introduce myself. My name is Miles, I make videos online and I also cosplay a wide variety of characters, but my main character and the one people mostly know me for is Spider-Man. I've done a large variety of Spider-Man cosplays myself, some pre-built, some pre-bought, some custom-made, some custom-designed, but no matter what suit it is or design it calls for, they all kind of stem down to the same ideas, the same kind of tips that you need going into any Spider-Man suit. These 5 tips I'm going to give you are not like 5 tips for starting cosplay or 5 tips for starting your Spider-Man suit. I've done all those before. This is your 5 punch list tips for Spider-Man cosplay overall that I think every Spider-Man cosplayer should at least consider and hear out and apply to your suits, and what I think is the most important for owning a Spider-Man suit. Now, a quick disclaimer before I actually get into the tips. Every single one of these 5 tips I have a separate video on somewhere on my channel that I will leave linked both down in the description, and I'll leave like a point either here or here on whatever point of the video that I'm talking about it. Now, you might think this is just a sad excuse for me to plug the rest of my channel and other videos, and you would be absolutely right. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm not going to try to lie. That is exactly what I'm doing. I have a bunch of other videos explaining these things in higher detail and with more explanation, but I'm not going to waste time in this video making this video 3 hours long explaining all of them. So I'm using this as an opportunity to give you 5 of the most important tips and then also give you links elsewhere for further explanation on those things of my own videos if you need those. I hope that made sense. Anyway, let's get into it. That was a really good clap. The first and most important tip applies to if you are ordering a Spider-Man suit, you've never ordered a Spider-Man suit before, or you're about to order a Spider-Man suit. You're about to get your first ever Spider-Man suit, or maybe you've ordered a couple and you still haven't quite figured this part out yet. This is my number 1 tip for that. Do not ever get a pre-sized Spider-Man suit. Always, always, always get a custom tailored Spider-Man suit. Always get custom measurements specific to you. This is beyond important for making sure your Spider-Man suit fits to you and fits the way you want it to. Let's say you have a little bit weird measurements. Maybe your arms are a little lengthier than most people. Maybe your torso is a little stubbier or a little longer. Maybe your legs are a little weird, or you have a different shoe size, or your head circumference is weird, or your wrist measurements are weird. You can't apply or account for any of those on a pre-sized Spider-Man suit. If you're just selecting a size like small, medium, large, they're just guessing. Yes, they have measurements based on those like parameters of small, medium, large, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be fit to you. So if you pick a pre-sized option, you're running the risk of the suit not really fitting in every department. And while a Spider-Man suit might fit kind of good, with a suit like this being skin tight, you want it to fit as good as it possibly can. So I would always recommend a custom sizing option where you go through every single measurement that the site offers, fill out your measurements exactly to you, and submit it as a custom tailored suit. Also, that means the suit won't fit anybody else, so if someone steals it, it's kind of useless to them. If you need help about how to custom size your suit and walking you through it, check out one of these 2 videos where I go over the entire process of sizing a Spider-Man suit to you exactly, and I give you a couple tips about what parts of your body to size up or size down to make it fit as perfect as it can. The second tip is going to coincide with the first one of when you're ordering a Spider-Man suit. Tip number 2 is make sure you consider all of the options and get the ones that fit you the best. Get the right options. Now, this is kind of what I hinted at in the intro of this video, is a Spider-Man suit has a lot of hidden options you might not think exist. When it comes to something as basic as like Spider-Man's gloves, you would think that you just put the glove on, but there's actually 3 separate options that you can have for the gloves. You can have removable gloves, attached gloves, or wrist zippers. Same thing with the feet, same thing with the zipper in the back, same thing with the mask, same thing with everything about the suit. There's a bunch of different options that you need to consider on what you're using the suit for. If you want to wear the suit outside, you have the option to install shoes on the suit. There's options for different thickness of fabric. There's options for different zippers and different places you can put the zippers. Some of them not really being the best. All of the options have their own pros and cons, and they all have their own kind of uses, and it's up to you to decide what you want to use the suit for and what options are the best for you. Now, again, if you need a little bit of help on figuring out what those options are and what the best ones are, I have 2 videos right there explaining both of those. One explaining what every single option is, and one going over what I think the best options are for a generic Spider-Man suit. Again, kind of like what I said in the intro of this video, the disclaimer, yes, I'm plugging a bunch of other of my own videos because I don't want to make this video 3 hours long. If you don't need a certain video, you don't have to watch it, but if one of those is important to you and you need it, go for it. The third tip is about something that you should wear with your Spider-Man suit that there's actually a lot of controversy about online, but there really shouldn't be. You've probably heard the term dancer's belt, or what a dancer's belt is. Tip number 3 is if you are a male Spider-Man cosplayer, I highly please recommend, not even recommend, I think that you absolutely should wear a dancer's belt. Now, trust me, I know the arguments for not wearing a dancer's belt. Ooh, it's uncomfortable. Ooh, I don't want to wear a thong. Ooh, I don't need to wear that. I could just double up on my underwear. And here are my counterpoints. Number 1, it's not really that uncomfortable, especially if you layer it up between compression pants and underwear. And also, if you think it's uncomfortable just to wear it, imagine how uncomfortable people are when they look at you and they see the little web shooter hanging out. Number 2, it's not really a thong. It might look like one, yes, but again, if you layer it up with compression pants and underwear, you're fine. And number 3, no, layering up your underwear will not do the exact same thing. It'll simply just pad out that area, but it won't solve the problem. If you're unaware of what a dancer's belt is, it's essentially an undergarment piece that you wear similar to underwear underneath your Spider-Man suit that does a good job of compressing the web shooter down there so that nobody has to see an ugly imprint. It essentially morphs over and masks the exact shape of whatever's going on down there and just gives you a nice, clean, seamless look on the front so nobody has to worry about it. You don't got to worry about what you're showing, nobody has to worry about what they're seeing. Now, this specific tip is a little bit more broad as there are separate options. You don't exactly have to do a dancer's belt. In this video, I go over what you can wear underneath your Spider-Man suit and I give you a couple different options. However, the highest one I recommend is the dancer's belt because it works the best. I would say the best tip is to mix the dancer's belt with a series of compression pants and underwear so you don't feel uncomfortable, but it still does its job and no one else feels uncomfortable. That's a big tip for my male Spider-Man cosplayers out there, and anybody who defends like not having to wear one is kind of icky because at the end of the day, you're not doing it for you, you're doing it for everybody else. It's just courtesy. So tip number 4, now you actually have your Spider-Man suit. You're going out and about, you're gonna cosplay, you're gonna go to a convention, you're gonna take some photos, but uh-oh, you don't know how to pose. That's a problem. Tip number 4 is take a little bit of time to learn and practice Spider-Man poses. Now I know what you might be thinking, it's weird for me to make a tip about this and talk about Spider-Man poses. It's pretty self-explanatory, right? You would be right. However, I think that it's something that not a lot of people consider when they're getting a Spider-Man suit. They want the Spider-Man suit, they go through like the excitement of ordering it, they get it, all that stuff, but they don't know how to pose. A character like Spider-Man relies on body language. He's incredibly expressive with his movements, with his poses, and when you're taking photos, especially if you're doing a professional photo shoot, or if you're working with other cosplayers, all of that stuff, it is absolutely well within your interest to take just a little bit of time to learn a few poses. You don't gotta go crazy, you don't gotta learn a million different Spider-Man poses, you don't have to embody Spider-Man, because let's be fair, no one really can, he's a superhuman. But it's definitely good to save a couple extra poses in your move list that you can pull out if you need to. Just learning a couple different perches, a couple different crouches, and a couple different hand movements, and seeing what you can do, the variety you can learn, and how you can incorporate other people in your poses. The more dynamic the pose, the better. Now again, another selfless plug. If you need a video showing you how to pose and going over some basic poses that anybody can do no matter how experienced you are, I made that video going over all of them step by step, giving you a couple different poses that you can learn to make things just a little bit easier when you're taking a photo. I always like to think that a Spider-Man costume is only half the battle, the other half is making a cool pose to bring it all together. Also, side note, it's really cool when people like DM me pictures of them doing the poses that I taught them in that video. It's like super cool because I'm like, hey yo, I did that, I taught you that. And they're like, yeah, you did that. And I'm like, It's like a virtual dap up. It's sick. The last tip I have, number 5, is a really important one, and it's something that most people don't consider because I didn't consider it either. A Spider-Man suit is just like a piece of clothing. Please, number 5, wash your Spider-Man suit.
Disinfect the mask. You're gonna want to use baby powder in the suit. Heavy on the joints. You don't want any chafing.
When you're at a convention, there are thousands of people there. It's hot, it's sweaty, there's a lot of people, you're gonna sweat. Those suits are lycra. They absorb sweat, they absorb water. When you take that suit off, it is going to stink like nothing ever has before. Trust me, it is not a fun experience sniffing that suit. I mean, in all fairness, most people aren't like their Spider-Man suit after they use it, but if you are, you'll probably die. After every time you use your Spider-Man suit, whether it's on a photo shoot, at a convention, doing some photos, doing a video, whatever, after a project, take a little bit of time to wash your suit. It takes less than half an hour. It's not the biggest deal in the world. Again, I have a video right there showing you how to do it step by step, but if you don't want to check that video out, literally just use some laundry detergent, soak it in some cold water, knead it out, rinse it out, dry it. Super, super simple, but again, it will save you in the long run. Now, that's going to conclude it for my 5 all-time basic tips. Of course, I have a million other like small tips. I have all of these other little things that I kind of share in my other videos. I say like, oh, make sure to plasti dip your face shell so the mask sticks, or make sure to size down on your chest and your biceps so the suit shows muscles better, or make sure you use this pose, or make sure you use this lighting, or make sure you arc your hand this way, not that way, or make sure you get this option. All of those things, right? And yes, I could go on forever about every single Spider-Man tip I have, about every single costume, and give you like a whole book of cheat codes for that, but that's not what this video was. I wanted this video to be no matter what suit you get, no matter what you're using it for, no matter what it is, these tips apply and they will help you. No matter if it's your first suit or your 10th suit, no matter if you haven't had a suit yet or you're on your last suit, this can help you and apply to you. And again, a selfless plug, I have videos linked in the description based on every single one of these tips. If one of those tips you had a little bit more questions on, you wanted a little bit more explanation, you wanted a little bit more help, there's a full video on each of those down in the description for you to check out, specifically catered to that tip. So before I end this video, I'm just gonna quickly selfless plug another thing, because that's basically what this entire video is selfless plugging. Firstly, I made a fun parody rap of Spider-Man 2 where I basically recapped the whole movie in a rap.
Doc Ock robbing banks and Peter shooting blanks and Mary Jane married to the guy from space. Got brotherly arguments and can't pay rent. And Peter starts to second guess what Spidey represents.
It's kind of cringy, but it's fun, so make sure to check that out. Let me know what you think. And number 2, if you are ordering a Spider-Man suit, make sure to order off of Print Costume and use my code MILES15. You can save a little bit of dough, and every time I get credits, I use those credits to give Spider-Man suits back out to you guys. I'm currently shipping 8 Spider-Man suits out to giveaway winners right now, so that's fun. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope I helped. Make sure to check out those other videos for more details. Peace and love, do good things, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Yeah, Spider-Man!